Doesn't look good, does it?
It's snowing pretty good. I have to go to Miles City today for a pregnancy outreach board meeting. This might be fun. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully this doesn't last too long and the roads are okay. Yep. Yeah, I talked to Steve, and he said it was kind of a scattered mix, back and forth. He said the biggest problem is that the wind's blowing and it's snowing again. I just called Rachel and said if I was in the Tahoe, I wouldn't even think about it. I'd just go. But I'm in the car. So she said just call the main number and they'll put me on speakerphone back there. And that'll work. So I've talked to a couple different people and I've made the decision to call in my meeting tonight. I've only had to miss maybe one meeting due to weather. And if I had the Tahoe fixed, I would just go. It's not bad enough for that, but it's too bad for the car. So I'm going to continue to do some school and some other stuff here, and then do that meeting tonight at 5:30. I was going to talk a little bit today about why I think learning Greek is important. For the Master of Divinity degree, you have to have 6 hours of Greek, intro to Greek grammar and intro to intermediate Greek grammar for exegesis. And then you also have to have 6 hours of Hebrew. And I think the biggest thing that I would encourage pastors to do is to have a basic understanding of those languages. And here's why. Anytime there is a translation from one language to another, the translator puts in their thoughts. So even when I was in another country and I would preach through a translator, the translator would hear what I said and then have to say it in a way for his people to understand it. And so, for example, I was preaching in Peru one time, and I was preaching out of Colossians, and there was the passage that says, "Don't be taken captive through deceit and empty philosophy." And I was talking about philosophy and talking about those different things. And instead of saying philosopher, I said philosophizers. And my translator looked at me and said, "I don't know what to do with that." And what he was saying is he didn't understand what I was saying so that he could translate it to his language and to the people that were listening to what he was having to say. That's just a funny example, and a couple of the people that were on that trip with me still remind me about that. But one of the things that you have to remember when you preach in other languages is they don't understand our idioms. So if I say, if I was to say, for example, he was talking out of his head, they don't understand that I mean that he wasn't making sense. Well, in the Greek and Hebrew, those things exist. And when they translate it to English, most of our translations are excellent. But I think it's good for you or me as a pastor to have a better understanding of the original language so that we can exegete the text at a higher level than just looking at the English. So, if you are going to be a master of the Word, for me, it just makes sense that you want to understand the base language. My fascination with the Greek came when I was in Bible college at Fruitland. Dr. Scott Thompson taught an evening class with Intro to Greek. It was not enough that I would get credit for it, so but I did buy a Bible there and started to look over it, and we used a particular textbook, so I stayed fairly up with some of it, and it gave me a pretty good basis. And then when I took my bachelor classes to finish up, one of the classes I had to take, they called Word Studies or something like that, and Greek counted for it. So I took another class, but none of that transferred to my master's program. But it doesn't bother me because I love the Greek language, and the more I learn about it, the more I want to learn it. It's my goal to just be able to sit down and fluently read through the Greek New Testament. My professor this semester has been excellent. I've emailed him a couple times about different things, and he really is helping me bring out some of the things that I was looking for after, some vocabulary and basics and kind of understanding those things. So anyway, this has been kind of a side hobby for me for many years. I just really, really love the Greek. We'll see what Hebrew holds. I'm going to wait a little while before I go through Hebrew. Anyway, that's some ramblings for today.